There is no tyrant more dangerous than neglect, and neglect does not arrive with a bang. It creeps in quietly. It wears no uniform. It is sanctioned by no law. It does not shout in the streets. It whispers in boardrooms, on screens, and behind the dead eyes of bureaucracy. When a society ceases to care for its people, it rarely says so outright. Instead, it forgets, and it forgets with remarkable efficiency. Every free society lives or dies by an unspoken agreement, not a contract between buyer and seller, but between human beings who believe their fates are bound together. This agreement is not enforced by the police. It is not written in a constitution. It is older than that and more fragile. It is called the social contract of the commons. Its terms are simple. You will not be left to rot if you fall behind. You will not be mocked for your illness or impoverishment. Your value will not be measured in profit. Your suffering will not be met with shrugs. And in return, you will see others not as rivals, but as neighbors. You will vote not only for yourself, but for the whole. You will speak the truth, even when it wounds your own side. You will remember that freedom is not a trophy, but a task. But in our present order, the contract is broken, not with a declaration, but with silence. The first signs of collapse are not sirens, they are shrugs. We shrug when the water is poisoned. We shrug when the poor die quietly. We shrug when the lies are obvious. We shrug when the books are banned. We shrug when compassion is ridiculed. Soon the shrug becomes habit, and the habit becomes policy, and the policy becomes ideology. And then we are told, this is just how the world works. That phrase, more than any dictator, gun, or law, is the sound of democracy dying. Society without a social contract of the commons is not a society. It is a marketplace. And in a marketplace, everything is negotiable, including dignity, truth, and human life. Without the commons, truth becomes whatever can be sold. Education becomes obedience training. Justice becomes a service for the wealthy. Solidarity becomes a punchline. The result is not chaos, but a new kind of order, the order of managed despair, where the masses watch the world collapse in real time, streamed, captioned, and monetized. Democracy cannot survive this, not in any meaningful sense. A people who no longer believe they owe one another anything will not protect one another. A nation that treats compassion as a weakness will not survive its own cruelty. A republic that forgets how to reason together will learn to shout instead. And a culture that devalues care will eventually devalue life without the social contract of the commons. The word freedom becomes a farce, a license for the powerful, a leash for the rest. Let this be said before the darkness deepens. The social contract of the commons is not a utopia. It is a firewall. It does not promise perfection. It promises survival with dignity. It does not demand purity. It demands responsibility. It does not erase difference. It insists on mutual regard. It is the only thing standing between democracy and its predators. So if you ask whether we can survive without it, the answer is no. Not as a free people, not as a moral people, not as a people at all. The question is not whether collapse is coming. It is whether we will shrug or rebuild. The commons must be rebuilt not from theory, but from conscience. Not from policy, but from recognition that you are my fellow human, that your pain is my business. That democracy is not my right alone, but our shared burden. No more shrugs, no more excuses, no more forgetting. There is still time to remember what makes us human, and to choose again to live as a people, not a market. Signed, a witness to decay, and a believer in what might still be saved.
Omnia mutantur. screens. Every truth gets bought and sold, every silence paid in gold. Storms are loud, our hearts are thin. History loops, where to begin? Algorithms rule the scroll, but can they quantify our soul? Everyone can see the change. Bees disappear, oceans rise, glass towers scrape through dirty skies. Children dream with heavy eyes, told success is to monetize. But listen, beneath the noise and fame and fear, a whisper grows, the change is here. The change is here. What is truth if not revealed? A wound unspoken, never healed. What is wealth without the earth? A crown of ash, a curse at birth. Everyone sees the change. Let there be light. Everyone can feel the flame. Breathe in the stillness. Truth returns in silence. Nothing real is lost, only misplaced. The world is not ending. It is asking, change is not coming. It is here.
Omnia mutantur, et nos mutamer in illis. All things change, and we change with them.
Everyone can see the change. Even silence has begun to speak.
Flooded feeds, burning trees, profit bleeds through paper screens. Every truth gets bought and sold, every silence paid in gold. Storms are loud, our hearts are thin. History loops, where to begin? Algorithms rule the scroll, but can they quantify a soul? Everyone can see the change.
Lux in tenebris lucid.
The light shines in the dark.
Bees disappear, oceans rise, glass towers scrape through dirty skies. Children dream with heavy eyes, told success is to monetize. But listen, beneath the noise and fame and fear,
A whisper grows, the change is here. What is truth if not revealed? A wound unspoken, never healed. What is wealth without the earth? A crown of ash, a curse at birth.
Omnis vident mutationem.
Everyone sees the change.
Fiat
Let there be light.
Everyone can see the change. Everyone can feel the flame.
Breathe in the stillness. Truth returns in silence. Nothing real is lost, only misplaced. The world is not ending. It is asking, change is not coming. It is here.